situation. 10 summers ago, I made my first trip to New York City, my first plane ride, my first cab ride, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know a soul, and I asked the taxi cab driver to drop me off in the middle of everything. So he dropped me off in Times Square. Anyway, I was completely awestruck. And 10 years later, I'm standing in the middle of Times Square looking at all you people. Come to see me and my movie, and I'm completely awestruck. Thank you for coming, and I hope you love the movie.
Everybody in Times Square, let's hear it for Madonna. The world premiere tonight. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Thank you, and God bless you, Madonna. Lovely. Man, is she lovely? Look at that. What are you doing? Only in New York City.
Did you know there's a director in your lobby? The funny film director?
Don't follow us. Don't touch me.
Could you please leave the lobby, sir?
Fabulous.
She's excellent.
She's gorgeous. It's all right.
I think she's outrageous.
She's really awesome.
She's cool.
I love her. She's the best.
Yo, she is bad. I decided to name my daughter after her.
She's a great star and she's a great singer and I love her.
Marilyn Monroe, look out, because here's Madonna.
10 summers ago, I made my first trip to New York City, my first plane ride, my first cab ride, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know a soul, and I asked the taxi cab driver to drop me off in the middle of everything. So he dropped me off in Times Square. Anyway, I was completely awestruck. And 10 years later, I'm standing in the middle of Times Square looking at all you people. You've come to see me and my movie, and I'm completely awestruck.
And I'm Mary Hart. She was in Ohio on Wednesday. She's in Michigan tonight. But Madonna played hooky from her sizzling summer tour to visit the Big Apple last night. The occasion was the world premiere of her new film, Who's That Girl? It almost looked like a New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square last night as hordes of fans turned out to catch a glimpse of rock and roll's reigning queen.
I guess this is what they mean by making a spectacle of yourself.
Madonna told the story of her first cab ride in New York when she asked the driver to drop her off in the middle of everything.
So he dropped me off in Times Square. Anyway, I was completely awestruck. And 10 years later, I'm standing in the middle of Times Square looking at all you people.
Madonna took a break from her whirlwind American concert tour to make an appearance at the world premiere of her new film, Who's That Girl?
It's a hell of a way to go to a movie.
Showbiz pals like Gregory Hines and rocker Stevie Van Zandt also showed up for the gala event. In Who's Who's That Girl, Madonna plays the part of Nikki, a young upstart who just spent 4 years in prison for a crime she didn't commit. Griffin Dunn plays a prim and proper tax attorney who gets mixed up with Nikki in her search for the bad guys who set her up. After the screening, Madonna boogied the night away in a downtown hotspot with the likes of Jim Belushi and 400 other invited guests. And what did her friends think of the film?
I thought it was great. I have a great respect for Madonna because I think she's new to the 80s for acting. A really fantastic actress.
The story, to be as brief as possible about it, has Madonna as a small-time crook just released from jail who's intent on avenging herself on the bigger-time crooks who framed her for a murder she didn't commit. Oh, by the way, this is a comedy, or it would have been a comedy if the director, James Foley, and his 2 scriptwriters had shown any discernible sense of comic timing at all. Anyway, Griffin Dunn, a wimpish lawyer, becomes involved with Madonna when his future father-in-law, John McMartin, instructs him to make sure she's on the first bus out of town. This may give you some clue as to who framed her in the first place. Well, after that, everything becomes frenetic and very, very noisy indeed, on the apparent assumption that fast and loud equals funny. It doesn't. The basic setup looks like a pale imitation of What's Up, Doc, and that leopard or whatever is introduced for no other reason that I could see except to cast memories back even further to Bringing Up Baby. Who's That Girl is not, alas, in the class of either film. Griffin Dunn, who was so good in After Hours, is given the thankless task of persuading us that he's fallen hopelessly in love with Madonna, and even he's not convincing enough to carry that off. For her part, Madonna is so kooky, wild and cute that I kept wanting to slap her, especially as she was noisier than anyone else and seemed to be playing some weird hybrid of a character that was part Mae West and part Bugs Bunny. I do still recall how very good she was in Desperately Seeking Susan, but the memory is beginning to fade. It's high time she found herself another good script and another good director.